What is up? Zone FanFic here, your host, along here with your co-host Breezy. What's going on, man? What's up?
Yo, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Another day on the Sing Zone podcast. Another day alive, man. It is good to have the feeling of being alive in 2024. It's just been a crazy yet interesting yet fantastic year. I think it's been a good year. How you feeling?
Yeah, so far so good. It's been a good year to me. I'm just baking right now, so I know I'm alive. So
Mhm. Got it. Yeah, gotta get those.
yeah, I'm down in Florida, so it's pretty hot right now.
So those pores are flowing.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Well, yeah, we got some interesting topics for you guys. Hopefully you guys we're gonna try to do some interesting things in the coming month, 2 months, or weeks to month, maybe month and a half. But just stay tuned, stay interested. Make sure to comment down below what you think that will be. I do want to announce or remind you guys that there will be a random giveaway for the stream. So just make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. That'll help us out, help you provide the content for you guys. That way we are able to give you, be all on the same page. And yeah, there's going to be some videos coming as well. So if you guys would like to hear more about that, as to what those may pertain to, can't exactly say what they are, but I can give you possible spoilers, right? So yeah, there also will be, those giveaways will include possible tickets to, let's say, things like Comic-Con, stuff like that. So whatever you think it should be, this is the opportunity that you guys have to really give details to see exactly what we should include within the giveaway. There are ideas that we have, but again, your opinion matters. Yeah, so I just wanted to start that off. I know me and Breezy, we had a discussion about that. Of course, we are working on timestamps and other editorial needs for the channel as well. So if you guys like and appreciate that as well, again, I will remind you that make sure to check out his channel. Description is down below, where you can check out all of his music catalog that he has currently available. I'm not sure, is that available also on SoundCloud, Breezy?
Oh no, they're not on SoundCloud yet, but now that you mention it, I'll probably be looking to upload some of them to SoundCloud soon.
Okay. I know you're working on some big things, and then of course you got your own personal life too. So I don't know if you have anything currently in the bucket ready to get out, but I find that it's probably best to at least remind the audience that, hey, make sure to check out Breezy. Make sure to check out, of course, the Zone Voyager channel if you like all things gaming, specifically the Voyager gaming, and of course the Zone FanFic channel, because there's going to be new content coming to those in the near future. But yeah, now that I've kicked that off, I guess I'll start off with number one, our anime segment. Yeah, so I don't know, I haven't exactly got the opportunity to watch Scavenger Rain, but I saw that it released May 31st, and I've just kind of been sitting on it. But I did watch like the trailer to it, and I found that it was really interesting. It kind of gave me, just based off of its aesthetic, right? It really gave me a vibe where it reminded me of like a Total Drama Island, but more of like a stoic format, right? Just to give you a sense of what I mean, I guess, to the audiences, it's essentially a combination, based off of the synopsis that I read, a combination of, I don't know, let's say Lost in Space and I really want to say Total Drama Island again, but I feel like that wouldn't be doing it due diligence. It's I would be doing it ill justice. I'll say that. But essentially what you can kind of gauge, and I'm sure maybe the people that have actually fully watched season 1 already could contest to this, but there's a little there's sort of an echo that I guess could be conveyed within its illustration. It's the silent moments, right, which I feel certain anime forms do very well, right? And what I mean by this is if you look at, let's say, Studio Ghibli, right, where Studio Ghibli has this they display a lot of anime that incorporate a lot of sci-fi, slow down and sort of accure that to more of like a natural natural, what would you say, scale. So I guess the balance between like sci-fi and nature, and really kind of depict in terms of like viewing things from the eyes of the natural world, right? And what I mean by that is, based off the synopsis, from what I've read, is it looks like these individuals, these people, have arrived to this planet, and they are basically stranded, but they're forced to sort of interact with all these different life forms, and there's no immediate sense of like urgency in terms of good and bad, right? There's no bad side, there's no evil. It's purely just animalistic nature and these species trying to survive on its own, right? Granted, I haven't fully watched season 1 yet. I did want to kind of convey that too, because I feel like for some of you anime enthusiasts out there like myself, you'll understand that it's very important to have that within anime, and not just action all the time. Action is great, action is good, but when an animator is able to really create a moment of silence, the director is really able to create a moment of silence, it really showcases the nuance within the series, within that anime, right? So just to give you guys, I guess, a little bit of a explanation or some clarification on that. Funny enough, Hayao Miyazaki actually did an interview back in 2002 with Roger Ebert, right? Or Ebert. I'm probably butchering his name. Apologies. I am not very. There may be some translation error with that, but
It's all good.
It seems like so. Based off of this interview, what Hayao Miyazaki essentially says is that we have a word for that in Japanese, right? We're talking about the moment of silence here, right? It's called ma, M-A, right? Emptiness. It's there intentionally, as Miyazaki claps his hands. And the time between my claps, me clapping, is ma, right? So, right? So it's essentially what he did there is try to convey the moment of silence and simplicity behind that, right? If you have a nonstop action with no breathing, it's all just busyness, right? So, and this is exactly what I get when I watch a lot of shonen, right? I get a bit of a sense that the creator author is trying to basically throw a bunch of things at me to confuse me, so that they can later, they have more time to really come back to that and sort of flesh out or leave breadcrumbs or quote lore within their actual art and animation, right? And so I feel like that's very misleading, but it seems like this is a very, very honest, true and cultural thing that Hayao Miyazaki actually does, and it's very appreciated. I can see it as an anime someone who's been an anime enthusiast for over 20 years now. So, yeah, this is something that I feel like it'd be very beneficial going forward. But yeah, it's nice to see that Scavenger Rain is actually, not that there's any correlation, but it's very possible, because just watch the series. It's highly recommended. But as I digress, I'm gonna, that was how do you feeling about Scavenger Rain? Have you seen it already?
No, I haven't seen it already myself. I've seen some visuals from the series, and it kind of reminds me, like you said, just from a visual standpoint of you mentioned Total Drama Island. I
Mm,
think you were referring to like just visually how it looks when you said that.
cool, bit. Yep.
So I can kind of see that because it has a very how do I describe it, like a simplistic art style, but then at the same time, like there are certain shots of it where you can also see that it focuses a lot on texture, and like the whole feeling that I get out of it. And you kind of mentioned it with like those when you mentioned like those quiet moments where you just need to slow down and just kind of take in things sometimes. I can see that just reflected from the art style alone. Like it immediately reminds me of just like serenity. Like it's really serene, but it's a really simple and beautiful art style at the same time. So it immediately draws me in and gives me like the sense that they want to just take you in what's happening within the environment and the atmosphere immediately. Like it just sets up a lot of atmosphere. And even the title alone, like Scavenger's Reign, it immediately makes me think of survival, because when I think of a scavenger, I think of, somebody that's just going around picking up things that are left over, just for survival's sake. And then rain, that's the person that's going to stay on top. So I just think of, uh, survive to make it, immediately just from like the title alone. So it has things going, just like from an artistic and a visual standpoint. I just haven't, dwelled into diving into the series itself yet. But it looks beautiful though. Very interesting, and there's a lot of intrigue surrounding it just from what I saw.
Yeah, they definitely showcased a lot just within its trailer. And what you said, it was very well said. I do want to credit that, because I don't think it could have said it better myself. The simplicity is everything, and it seems like some good inspiration was taken in this series. Again, this will be a series which I'll be watching, and in the coming week. Oh, I'll be watching it as soon as possible, basically as soon as I get off the stream. But um, yeah, good all around, good stuff. Glad that something like this could have appeared. I am extremely optimistic about this, and I have a good sense that this is going to be an excellent series. Similar to other Netflix animations, but yeah. I guess next up though, I'll talk about Tower of God. Tower of God. Yeah. So Tower of God is it's planning for its second season. There will be a planned broadcast for 2 cores. Or core 2. Okay, so I don't exactly know what a planned broadcast would imply, unless they're trying to take this into maybe like a streaming platform like Netflix or Disney Plus. I believe Disney Plus has the rights to Tower of God, if I'm not mistaken. So this could very well be that case. I know Disney has some rights to Bleach in that extent, and Bleach was phenomenal. So yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I just think it's a good thing, that season two is coming in general. I'm not too concerned, like you said, about it being under Disney, if that's the case, because like you said, they have Bleach as well, and it didn't really seem to affect that too much. They just kind of let them do their own thing. So I'm just excited for it.
it's my understanding that Disney would just be responsible for like maybe um or not necessarily responsible, but also be the ones assisting in the Blu-ray. And that's what it seems like to me. And every time I hear Disney, I think of Blu-ray. I don't know how inaccurate that is. If anyone could clarify in the comments if that's entirely true, if there's some sound to that, if there's any substance to that, then credence, let me know definitely in the comment section. But yeah, that's essentially my interpretation of however Disney essentially whenever they incorporate a series into their works. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, as
Tower
long
Tower
as
of God, man.
it remains original as it was, and the Blu-ray release doesn't have like like random changes or anything like that, I'm all good with it.
Yeah, I don't exactly care if it's Blu-ray or not. Like I don't know. I feel like that's very contradictory of me to say. Um, but I mean, I think Blu-ray could look better. It just looks different. I think it doesn't always. I think it just whether or not it looks better is just completely dependent upon. It's subjective, completely dependent upon the viewer. I know editors or not even editors, but animators could feel some type of way about a particular thing, but again, they're not the audience, they're not the one perceiving it per se. Unless it's their work, then of course all critique to them. But yeah.
I don't like me myself. I don't have a lot of like anime personally, like on Blu-ray disc. Like, have you noticed like any significant changes as far as like how it looks on Blu-ray versus how it looked before? Because I wouldn't really know.
Well, there are certain frames that could look extended, right? Could either
I see.
could look extended or more fluid based on uh different shadows, shading, or dimming. Um, it really just depends. But on I guess like on maybe like fast, rapid movements. But again, that's typically only going to pertain to like action sequences, which again could maybe I don't know, maybe my nephew or I don't know younger siblings could attest to that. But
I see. So it's kind of like adding additional frames within like the fast moving sequences.
it's not exactly adding frames. It's more so just changing the colors and the shading for those specific frames.
Okay, I see what you mean.
The lighting, right? Um, yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. As long as it's not like I know I have some friends that have like those TVs that have those I forgot what they call the settings, but I want to say it's called like Motion Plus or something like that. Where
Mm.
like it'll try to add frames in between like fast moving action sequences within a movie that aren't actually there, but it'll try to interpret, what happened and add frames there. And like every single time, like my eye does immediately notice that like it'll just look a little bit off because some certain frames in movies they're slowed down for a reason, so it just looks a bit awkward to me. So but you're saying like it's just changing the color, so
Yeah, you're
that
talking
that
about
different. So
CGI. I think what you may be implying is or talking about is like CGI rendering in between like frames.
yeah, it's sort of like that, yeah, or it might just be that exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, of course, there's always going to be a more technical term to that, but I guess in a nutshell, for viewership purposes, that may also be applied. Hmm. Interesting.
Studio Ghibli, supposedly though they're working on a new film with Miyazaki on the helm again.
Mm.
Supposedly this is going to be an action adventure story, Miyazaki, he's going to be producer, screenwriter, director, and you know, uh, co-founder for the film as per usual. They did say like I seen like a thing where Studio Ghibli put up where like they were saying like they're tired of this guy Miyazaki like constantly talking about this film. They're like this film is like all this man keeps talking about as of lately ever since it's been in production basically. I don't know if like if you've ever seen clips of like Miyazaki like when he's going on his going through like his creative process. Like you could tell like he's a really smart man, but he what's the word I'm looking for? Not authoritative, but
Meticulous. He's very meticulous.
yeah, he's very meticulous and he's very direct when he's working with people, and like he knows what he wants. Like some people find that a little grating, but like he's very passionate about his projects and what he works on.
I mean, I feel like he would have to be. I mean, he's influenced most of the anime that we know today, right? And the fact that he's, I mean, I don't know, is he taking do you know if he's taking all these roles, or is he just taking one of these roles? Because I know he's been all these roles at one point in time once before.
For this movie, I believe with the knowledge that we know so far, he's producer and screenwriter for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's wow. I mean, I know he made the he made the last, there's another movie that released in like 2022. I want to say it was the Aaron and the Witch, which was also I want to say it was also directed by Studio Ghibli. Yeah, I want to say that was also something that he worked on. Of course, he's co-founder as well. So yeah, that would float. Yeah.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about The Boy and the Heron, right?
I feel like it was something else.
It's before The Boy and the Heron. Okay,
the Earwig and the Witch.
I think. Okay, that one I didn't see. Yeah. I know their most recent one was The Boy and the Heron. And for that one, he was also, again, he was the director and he was the screenwriter for that movie.
Yeah, the guy is just phenomenal. Like I had to legitimize, essentially had to legitimize Scavenger Rain, because he's just that influential. And I think that this is where a lot of shonen fail. They're not able to successfully incorporate a moment like Studio Ghibli, that Hayao Miyazaki has been able to kind of showcase, and so that's I'm just this is exciting news. This is phenomenal. This is great news for anime, for the anime community, and I'm glad we get a chance to really share that.
Yeah, like when you mean like a moment, I kind of know what you mean, because like usually Ghibli movies, they have sort of a like a natural feel to them, kind of like they don't feel so. I mean, they're animated characters, but they don't so much feel as much like anime characters as much as they feel like just like people, as far as how they act. But just like in an animated format, it kind of has like a slice of life kind of feel to it, as opposed to like a lot of other things. A Ghibli film when you see it, not just through the art style, but just like the feel of the characters alone. They have a sort of realistic feel to them, or a human feel. I don't know how to describe it further than that.
No, that was I don't think you can say it better than that. Like that was pretty good.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to for sure, like whatever it is that he has cooking up, because like I said, like according to Ghibli, they said that like he won't stop going on about it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm always glad and happy when a Ghibli film pops out or comes out. I haven't watched all of them, but I watched a couple good ones. Spirited Away probably still is my favorite, or what would be my second favorite one? Maybe Princess Mononoke.
Mm,
But yeah, I'm gonna say maybe Princess Mononoke for now. But you
yeah,
know, the films are pretty good, so looking forward to it for sure.
those are life-changing films. Really, like I feel like those are, instead of scary movie nights. I mean, if anything, you could incorporate that on on top of scary movie nights. Like it's like Studio Ghibli scary movie night, right?
Oh man,
Popcorn. You've got your family. You've got the TV. It's just an amazing moment. Like with Studio, it's just I don't know. I have such an appreciation for Studio Ghibli and of course Miyazaki. So yeah, I mean, fantastic.
when you said scary movie night, like that immediately reminded me of the movie Spirited Away, because when
mm,
I was little and I seen that movie for the first time, like No Name in the movie where it was just like a black entity with just the mask. I don't know why, but when I was little, like that thing used to creep me out. Like especially when it would eat stuff and it would just start gobbling a bunch of food at once, and then you could see the food just go through it because it's completely transparent and it's just going down. It's just like, I don't know, something about that when I was little used to scare me. So
yeah,
I could definitely sub like a scary movie night for like a Miyazaki, just like or slash Studio Ghibli movie night kind of thing.
hands down, hands down. And I don't know. Is it Ghibli? Or is it Ghibli? I feel
I
like
don't know. Like I say it
better
both ways
pronunciation.
sometimes. Sometimes I say Studio Ghibli, sometimes I say Studio Ghibli. And then like a lot of people pronounce it a whole bunch of different ways whenever I see anybody mention the studio itself. So it's
I've
not
never
just
actually thought about that.
it's
Hmm.
not just a thing that I slip up or you slip up. But now that you mentioned that though, I might actually sometime look up like the actual pronunciation of the studio.
Dang. Yeah. Let me
Vin-
know.
one thing though that I wanted to bring up, Vinland Saga, the author of the series, Makoto Yukimura, like he was tweeting on Twitter saying that what it has been going on so far for the manga is not the end. Like there's more coming up. So it hints at Vinland Saga potentially going on for a minute. And then like for the anime, I know it just had a season, and I don't know when its next season should be coming out specifically, but I know like rumors are that it's supposed to be sometime near the end of this year. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to pan out, but every time I hear things about Vinland Saga in general, like people just mostly have good things to say about it. I don't know why, and I keep saying this all the time. I don't know why I keep putting this one off as one that I want to delve into or need to delve into. I've been trying to get into Vinland for a minute, but every time I hear about Vinland, like it's just nothing but good things.
Yeah, I mean, Vinland Saga is one of those life-changing animes. I feel like every time like it showcased a new anime season showcase, it has essentially changed my life in some aspect. And so it definitely moves mountains. I think that it's capable of doing that if you're capable of sitting down and actually watching the seinen. Seinen typically tend to be my favorite genre or favorite type of magazine for anime. I just Vinland Saga is very very well, and it really seems like a Vinland Saga year, like 2024. Um, it seems like one of those years where and I don't know, maybe this is a director's move or insight as to why it may or may not be airing this year, but typically it would start in the fall, and I don't think that we ever really hear any news when it does drop. It just It just like a
It
trailer
just yeah,
announces
randomly a trailer will pop up and then sometime it drops later.
like a month, maybe a few weeks prior, and then now we've got to shift our gears toward Vinland Saga, and I'm waiting for it, man. And I think there's a lot of speculation that it could either be the end of this year, fall, or May 2020 2025. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. So that's great news. I don't think I ever saw that tweet.
Saying yet with me, I'm probably going to get into Vinland Saga right after an anime that I'm watching right now is Terror in Resonance. And that's really short. It's only like 13 episodes, and I'm halfway through that. And so far I really liked it. I was recommended to watch it by a friend, and he was just like, "It's okay," but
yeah,
I'm like, I think it's a little bit better than that. I was like, "Oh,
that's
right.
me. I might be the friend." Terror in Resonance.
Yeah, Terror in Resonance. Yeah.
Terror in Resonance was, I want to say it was directed by the same, or co-directed by the same guy that worked on both Akira and Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And yeah, it's I don't know why I'm blanking. Like I should know this name. But no, Terror in Resonance.
It's Shinichiro Watanabe.
Watanabe, yeah, Shinichiro Watanabe. Yes. Okay, so you saw did you watch the entire anime already? Did you watch the entire season?
For Terror in Resonance? No, I'm halfway through it. I'm probably going to be done with it by like at the pace I'm going. It definitely by the end of next week.
Okay. All right. How you feeling about it already?
Like right now, I like it. Like just I've been talking about it with a couple of people who have seen it before, and I guess I think you are the one who recommended it to me initially, because I made a list of shows that I was going to watch just by people that have raked me shows, but I think I remember you recommending me to watch Terror in Resonance. But other people that seen it, they just said it was okay or whatnot. But I was like, I don't know, like y'all smoking something or something, because like to me it's pretty good so far. Like it's not it doesn't start how other shows typically start. Like it kind of starts in the middle of things going on, and then you're slowly figuring out what's going on between the main characters 9 and 11. And I don't know, I'm just getting into everything that's going on with it, but so far I'm liking the direction it's going.
Yeah, no, dude, it was totally me. It was totally me that recommended this. Because I remember we were talking about Lazarus, and Shinichiro Watanabe is also the creator of Lazarus, which should be coming in the coming months. So yeah, that news will be coming as well, guys. Yeah, and of course, creator of either creator or director of Cowboy Bebop, creator of Cowboy Bebop. Excuse me. How could I taint his name like that? Shinichiro is the GOAT, man. He is the GOAT.
Like one thing I can say that stands out, with Terror in Resonance, as far as I've been watching, because like I said, I'm only on episode 5 right now, and I'm kind of still just taking everything in and everything that's going on in the series. But the soundtrack, though, it really sticks out to me. But that's one thing that is with like some of his other works, because he also was involved, like you said, with Cowboy Bebop, and that had a really amazing jazz soundtrack. He did Shampoo, I believe. Shampoo, had a really amazing sort of mixture of like a Japanese / lo-fi kind of hip hop soundtrack to it. So the soundtrack is one thing that immediately sticks out to me. And then the aesthetic is really nice. It has like a sort of like a dramatic serious tone to it. And it moves like at a high pace. Just the first couple episodes 1 through 4 move like really, really fast. That's why it's like in my head it's really hard to go back and just evaluate like everything that happened with the episodes. But it never feels like in a way where it's too overwhelming. And then there's details within the episodes that you think about and then you want to go back and kind of catch what it, because like I said, like everything happens in it really, really fast. But so far, like the vibe that I'm getting from what the story is trying to go for, like it's trying to tell a story about like corruption, greed, and then like the consequences that corruption and greed have upon upon innocent people. Because like I remember like in the first couple episodes up to like episode 2, I can't recall her name right now, but like the girl that's in the story, like she just kind of got caught up in everything. Like she seemed like, you know, she had things going on with her, but then like at the same time, she just got caught up in all the drama that was going on with the main characters when they were going to go blow up that building, and she was just forced to kind of go along with them. So in a way, it's kind of just showing, you know, that innocent people just get carried along or get caught up along with, you know, the corruption that goes on around in the world. So, but so far though, I'm liking it. I'm just getting into what's going on with it and kind of breaking down everything that's going on with it in my head. But that one, I'm definitely going to follow up with you when I finish with it and give you like a more cohesive, like complete, you know, thoughts and analysis on what I liked and what I disliked about the show. But so far, so good. It's really good.
I do want to say that first off, Terra Resonance was not what I thought it would be, and that's not to sell it short or oversell it. Right? It's essentially like it's just basically saying that in terms of creative range, like what Watanabe has that in spades, right? So, and then also to clarify, because I misspoke, for Terran Resonance was essentially inspiration. Watanabe worked on projects in various capacities, essentially, but some of the roles he wasn't directly involved in those roles. These were essentially like his influence. Even like his influence is something to be I guess plotted, because Motocross Plus, the Animatrix, Gundam, the original, the origin, the list goes on. But in terms of projects, the guy's got Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy, Blade Runner Blackout 2022, and the list goes on. So yeah, the guy's got a resume for sure. And yeah, this is I really applaud the guy. Like I can't, I've got none but respect, and no pedophilia, no PDF file allegations have come across. As far as what we know from the guy, which is good news.
Very good news in 2024.
Yeah, so I throw that out there. I like being petty sometimes.
But yeah, man, it's pretty good so far. I'll definitely once I complete it, it'll probably be like by the end of next week. I'll definitely give more complete thoughts on that one to you.
Hell yeah.
Also, a brief mention, Spy X Family, that has got greenlit for season 3. Like, I don't know, or we don't know like specifically when season 3 is coming out for Spy X Family, because they don't have a set date yet. But they did say the studio that's responsible for the series, they did say that they're going to do a season 3, which it's not too much of a surprise for me, because the original movie that they did in Japan, it did really, really well at the box office. And then when it came here this year in April, it opened at like number 5 at the box office here. So Spy X Family is doing pretty well.
That's wow. That's number 5. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Nice job, Spy X Family.
For sure. Like that one is one that I've been I'm gonna start at the movie. The movie is something that I wanted that to be my entryway point into the series, because sometimes like just watching the movies kind of give me a little bit of context into who the characters are, and then just what's going on and what the series is kind of about, especially when it's a movie that's detached from the main plot and it just kind of has its own plot, like the movie that just released for Spy X. So whenever I got the time, I'm definitely dwelling into that one to just kind of get introduced into the series before I get into watching that one.
Understandably. Preferably, like I would prefer series do this. Sometimes they'll try to incorporate like a prelude, or
yeah.
Kaizen actually did like a prelude movie, which was interesting. It was a prequel movie to the series, so I found that extremely interesting. That is what kind of got my attention toward the JJK series at that point in time. But yes, definitely adding continuity in movie format is beneficial for series like that, or for series in general. Like I prefer My Hero Academia movies to all be canon. Unfortunately, no, and I think that's one of the more disappointing aspects of the movies. Other than that, My Hero Academia movies are top tier in terms of animation and story.
Like with JJK specifically, like that's how I got into watching some of the stuff with the anime, because like I tried to watch the anime for season 1 for JJK before, and I just tried to get into it by starting the anime once. But like the way that the anime is set in the beginning, like it just kind of stuff just happens a bit too fast for me for the way that the anime starts. Like it's just nonstop, just stuff happening without kind of slowing down. And it was really hard for me to get into it that way. So I watched the prequel movie JJK Zero, which it focuses on one character and just kind of builds things up more, and then you get to see some of the other characters that are mentioned in season 1 of JJK that they didn't really go over too much.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into that one in the beginning, to just kind of ease into that anime. So I definitely see what you're saying.
I would have much rather. I feel like the series would have lasted a lot longer had they not have did that movie. Even though I felt like that was probably one of the best things that they have did for the series, I feel like that could have been adapted within maybe as like
a mini arc, maybe
like a mini arc, right? They could have like expanded it and like had it, I don't want to say in flashback format, but it could have been like, they could have pulled a Naruto and it would have worked, right?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
they could have had it to where instead of going like the seasonal route, they could have just played it consistently, incorporated that within it. It would have been good. It would have been good. But again, I don't understand the marketing or the budget behind their choices. But I guess what we have is what we have.
Yeah, I get that. I can see that though, because Naruto does have like certain arcs in it that I could see where like they could have took like the other route, sort of like how JJK did, where like they made it a movie or something, but it worked well as a mini arc within like that series. Like specifically what comes to mind to me is like background stuff about like what happened with Itachi, or just like background stuff of what happened with Kakashi. Like those could have been totally separate movies, but they did work well within like the actual show. So I could see, where they could have took the other route instead. Definitely.
And Naruto should have did the opposite. They should have actually movies,
Yeah.
like they shouldn't have made non-canon movies. All their movies should have been canon. And I know someone out there is going like, what about the Boruto movie? Come on.
I feel like the Kaguya stuff definitely should have been a movie. Like it just kind of like being slapped on like at the end of the war arc. It just seemed a little bit abrupt and just too much
Rushed.
dump at the same time and too much info that needed expanding upon rather than the way that they did it. Like the Kaguya stuff, I'd rather have that be a movie, but
110% agree. I mean, they should have really ended as soon as they defeated Obito.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, as soon as they defeated Obito, and then or maybe they should have just ended the Madara. The Madara fight, it started to feel like a stretch, right? Like, okay, well, this fight is going on forever,
Yeah.
and then Black Zetsu comes in there and is like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, you just gave me flashbacks like a chapter or two ago. What are we talking about here? But it was funny enough, yeah, they definitely should have incorporated that within, I say, what was it? Naruto the Last?
Yeah, that would have been better incorporated there. Yeah.
It could have incorporated it there, then they could have extended the movie, dialed and had the same animation. It would have worked. It would have been fantastic. The best way to end the series, similar to Attack on Titan, how it ended it in like these large segments, that would have been the best way to end it. And you could have upped the animation just for the last, to give the audience an idea. It's like, okay, well, what do I think of when I think of the last of Naruto? Well, I think of like Kage and Madara, and just a bunch of power ups, and Naruto died, and it just seemed like it was all over the place a little bit. And now I kind of look back at it and I'm like, well, yeah, it looks like they were trying to make it to where Boruto had something to land on. But I think in the process, they also made it to where it looks like Naruto, the end of Naruto, the writing at least was incompetent. And so even though they gave some leg room for the Boruto studio to stand on, they just did the end of Naruto. They ill justice, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, that's
100%. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, but I guess so I don't continue on that part, that on that note. I guess I'll continue on to Chainsaw Man controversy on chapter 167. What's going on with Chainsaw Man? Like, what's going on? Are you familiar with what's going on?
Oh yeah, I've been fully spoiled on. I mean, I don't read the Chainsaw Man manga, but I'm fully spoiled on just like what happened within like chapter 167 of Chainsaw Man. Like it's kind of wild. Have you seen anything on it at all?
I found that it was trending. I didn't look into it all too much. Are you caught up at all? I know there's a lot of controversy behind it.
Okay, yeah. Dang, how do I explain what happened in chapter 167 very nicely? Have you seen? Okay, have you ever seen?
Tell it to me the unnice way, and then come back at it with a nice way. I want to see what you say. I'm just curious.
Oh man. Okay, so I don't, like I said, I don't follow the Chainsaw Man manga like that, so I'm not familiar with any of the characters like that. It's set for the character of Denji, and from my understanding of Denji's character within Chainsaw Man, like he's you know, like a horny teenager, basically, essentially. But like the thing with the Chainsaw Man manga, I guess the whole point of it is he wants to actually be happy. So I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be horny. I want to be happy. Essentially, is the whole thing with Chainsaw Man. But Chainsaw Man, from my understanding of just like fans of the manga, like it's supposed to explore the real thing that makes you happy is connections with other people, essentially. So then we get to like chapter 167. So besides like that basic thing about Chainsaw Man, just like the whole premise of it, and then like the main character Denji, like I don't know anything else about it going into it. But in chapter 167, all I know is like this man Denji was like he's sweating, he's real profuse or whatever. And then like there is a female character. I don't know her name or anything like that. And then she goes up to him in like this back alley, and she basically, as they're making out, like she gives him a hand job basically. And then it ends in sort of a have you ever seen like Neon
Jennison?
Evangelion?
Oh yes, I have.
Okay. So you know like the infamous hospital scene for that one that was also controversial?
I'm vaguely remembering. It's been a while since I've seen Evangelion.
Okay. But basically, like it was a Neon Genesis Evangelion like hospital scene type ending with that. And so like a whole bunch of people they really had a problem with like the chapter where like they felt like that was a step too far.
Really? That was
Yeah. And I know like with the Chainsaw Man manga, I know it used to be in Weekly Shonen Jump, but I know also that it got pulled from Weekly Shonen Jump some time ago because you know of the content that's been inside of the manga as of lately. You can still read it online under Shonen Jump on sites like Viz, and I think it's on Manga Plus under Shonen Jump. But the physical copies aren't published under Shonen Jump. So
I'm surprised. I thought there was nothing nothing too far for the Chainsaw Man fans, Chainsaw Man community. I thought there was no bar too low,
I thought so too, but apparently not.
But I get, maybe it's a good reason because maybe I don't know, maybe there are just Chainsaw Man stands.
I don't know, man. Like a lot of people just had like a problem with it, where they were like, just like Postal that I've seen, where they're like, "What are you doing? Like this is going backwards," and like, you know, Denji's character is still horny, and he should learn and he should grow and this and that and the other. And like I said, like I'm not familiar with stuff that goes on in the manga. Like this is just stuff that I see, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, what did y'all expect at the same time?
Yeah, it's a shonen.
Like, y'all knew what you were getting into when you got into this manga.
Yeah, and you could usually, at least I can tell whenever a creator is trying to capitalize on a particular topic. It's like, should I give this anime a chance? And I generally always will, but it'll always be delayed because of things like this, where I know that there is such a PDF file, at least what we would determine as that in the United States, as opposed to what Japan would perceive that as. And I think there is a little bit of a disconnect in that aspect, to where they have sort of like a blind filter based off of their socialistic
views, basically.
View aspects. And so, yeah, I mean, it, they see it as morally right, and so they're going to continue to sell and market off of that and capitalize on that until the smarter side of that audience chooses to speak up about that. And so, yeah, it's very difficult to argue in the case of like shonens making suggestions and making giving context like that or writing context like that within their manga, and trying to basically validate it when it's doing things that are obviously wrong, right? They should know their audience. Their audience, for the most part, is Americans. Of course, you've got people from Asia, people from all over the world, but the main demographic is going to be Americans. Maybe Japan may eat this up. We're not unless you're Japanese, and hey, I guess I'm willing to hear your opinion on it. And of course I've got Japanese friends. I've talked to people online just in regards to the culture around it. But yeah, that's all interesting. It's interesting that is something that is being brought up in this day and age. I'm glad the sense of awareness is there. That is beneficial. But also, My Hero Academia and JJK is on a 2-week hiatus. Gege is reportedly sick, and I don't exactly know what this means for My Hero Academia. I'd assume because they are near in their conclusion to the series, there may be a 2-week hiatus to sort of give breath to the conclusion or the prelude to the conclusion. And then Gege is of course sick. I know he's faced a lot of controversy in the last few months regarding the manga's direction and apologizing for the writing, which sort of rubs me the wrong way. It's like, why would you apologize for something that you had the idea of doing, unless you had the intention to do it and apologize anyways, thinking that was going to make it all right. It's just kind of weird. It's like, if you were so and again, if he's genuinely sick, of course, I hope he gets better. I'm not saying that he's just faking it or whatever, but in terms of the controversy, I think that it's important that if he really cared so much, I definitely think that he should have did more interviews, asked more questions in terms of how this can be more of something that the community can feel like they had an input in. Like this was a part of the anime community and not just something that was sort of forced onto the anime community. And so, hey, I think Japan has a loud voice in the matter. And so any manga artist that is an active production of a series automatically by default has a louder voice whenever they speak about their art and their animation, because people feel like, oh, it's their baby, and that's fine, right? But I don't know, it's a little different when you see it as like a manga, right? It's just another series essentially, right? People typically will voice their opinions based on polls, based off of outrage, based off of viewership. And so again, whenever shonen or children are involved, teenagers are involved in things like this, it sort of is a little bit more difficult to argue in terms of what something should be. But again, hopefully Gege gets better and he's able to write the series the way that he knows it should be written. And I hope he stays true to himself. That's all I ultimately care about, is that he stays true to what he wants things to be. Because ultimately, if he changes up anything, he could always have the argument that, well, this was the community's ideas. These weren't my original ideas. So, yeah. Again, hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, same. Like I wouldn't want anybody, to be sick or anything like that. And I know, in Japanese culture, I know, like, as far as things like sickness, they usually keep it like very, very private, so nobody knows specifically what's wrong with them. But Shueisha did say the only thing that they gave on it was that he was pretty sick and he was suffering from a strange condition. So that's pretty much the only thing that we know about that one. But I do hope he gets better as well.
Same here. Same here.
Oh, there was though some stuff but we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier today, but there's some stuff where people were saying that Kaiju number 8 was a little bit too much like Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm so glad you have a better memory than mine, and my bad, because initially I thought that would be a good idea to commit that to memory, but I find that that's probably something that should have been more thoroughly discussed and annotated if possible. But yeah, Kaiju number 8. I don't know. I definitely heard about there's a lot of controversy. I don't exactly know specifically what this could be pertaining to. I know there's a lot of discussion about it prior to the anime actually coming about. But the only thing I can possibly think of is the amount of like gore and the amount of the level of choreography, right? It's very similar to Attack on Titans in a lot of aspects. The choreography, but in terms of like everything else, I feel like it's still got a leg of its own. It's able to kind of handle a leg of it's able to do its own thing without appearing too much as there's not a scene where I'm like, and I'm a huge AOT fan, right? So in terms of like it echoing, like there hasn't even been moments where I'm like, oh yeah, that's Attack on Titans, right? Because I understand what Attack on Titans is and the message of it, right? And in terms of like Kaiju number 8, I don't exactly see the connection here. Again, if anyone disagrees with the matter, if they could basically mention that down below in the comment section, or just throw me a comment over on the Sync Zone Discord or Twitter, whatever. Let me know, because I'm genuinely curious as to what this specifically could pertain to, because I don't see the correlation here.
Yeah, that one kind of confuses me too. Like the only correlation that I can see is maybe the monsters and the fact that they have gore. But as far as like the core themes of the shows and then just the way that the show itself is portrayed, I don't think they share very many similarities. Like Eren and Kafka are like way different as characters. And then like even the tone of Attack on Titan compared to Kaiju number 8, like Attack on Titan has a darker atmosphere to it in general.
Absolutely.
So
and it has more European biblical aesthetic, right? That is something that I think Attack on Titans has also possibly gained some inspiration from Studio Ghibli in terms of its European aesthetic. Just to kind of, I guess, correlate that. But the only thing that I really see here is maybe, just maybe, there's a correlation between Kaiju number 8 and Solo Leveling. You could say that. I feel like you could say that based off of the amount of like bosses and the sort of like the progression rate and within certain characters, maybe the growth, the personal personal development, character development within each of the characters, maybe you might make that correlation. I feel like that would be more sound than saying that there is a correlation between Attack on Titans and I feel like that's just something people put out there too, that really doesn't understand Attack on Titans and really does not know, and really just wants a reason to kind of shun the Kaiju number 8 community when really like it's still like in its early episodes, its early development, so I don't know. It's too early to tell. Attack Kaiju number 8, first off, is in Japan. So again, I don't know.
Yeah, way different settings. Kaiju number 8 takes place in a futuristic setting as well. Whereas, like you said, where Attack on Titan, it's more of a European kind of more current setting. So
yeah, yep, like Cathedral, European, Europe.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That one's a stretch. Just besides the monsters, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. Next up though, we have our movies and series segment.
Yes, so Peaky Blinders. There's a Peaky Blinders movie officially coming to Netflix, and the production is set to get underway in the coming months for the fall. Cillian Murphy is supposed to be starring as Tommy Shelby once again within the series. So, have you watched any of the Peaky Blinders series?
I have in fact watched all of the Peaky Blinders series.
Oh, wow.
And I actually know that it's actually pronounced Cillian Murphy. And I had someone correct me on this very recently.
Oh dang! Okay, Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy, yeah. The last movie that I've seen from him was in Oppenheimer. He's a very, very excellent actor. And he lives a very modest life. At least on camera, he lives a very modest life as from what I can see, and I definitely appreciate, actors and showcasing a more modest appeal. Like, yes, he's got money, but he's modest about it. That's nice. That's refreshing a little bit. But yeah, you said coming in the fall.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming in the coming fall months of this year. We don't have a specific date, but it is coming in the fall though.
So the way I want to say is it's like 9 seasons. I want to say maybe 8 seasons of a Peaky Blinders. It's a phenomenal series. I was getting teary-eyed a little bit toward the end. And I really my heart was beating throughout the series. It really gets you going. You start to get consumed by these characters, these actors. They're very good actors that are in this movie, in this series. And I'm surprised. I'm wondering if any of the other, because the way they ended off the series, I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, they planned that, and I never even thought about it. I thought they were gonna leave it right there, and I would have been fine with it. But now I'm like, whoa, was this planned all along to have a movie? And I know I'm just, I'm kind of like, I can't stop smiling because this is crazy. This is phenomenal. Him coming back on the screen. I feel like there's got to be some things that happen within this movie that sort of are echoed toward like the last episode, which minor spoiler here, it's like a reunion of sorts, right? Which I'm interested to find out if there will be one. So for sure, I don't want to spoil the series because I know how good it is, and I also know how difficult it can be to even try to pick up something like this. But if you are able to make it through the first season, you're not going to stop. You're not going to want to stop. and you're going to want to get to figure out like what happens. You know, it's pretty good. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Yeah, this one I might check this one out because like I said, like the movies are always like a good way for me to get into some series that have been going on for a little while. Cause just, you know, hopping into a series that's already got some traction for like a couple seasons can be a little bit overwhelming at first, you know. So for me it would be a good starting point to start here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Shoot.
DC Studios though, they're saying that the Lantern series is going to be written by the same creator of Lost and Watchmen, Damon Lindelof. How do you feel about that?
We were just talking about this, man. We were just talking about how like how Spider-Man Noir could potentially, like, it would be so great if it was created or directed by the same creator as Watchmen, right? And how it may carry that same aesthetic as like Watchmen and Sin City. So me knowing that there were like rogue Green Lanterns already screams to me like, yo, I mean, they've got to incorporate it. They've got to incorporate the rogue lanterns. Like the lanterns, they're not all PG all the time, even the good ones. And it's phenomenal whenever there is some crazy lantern activities going on, because it really can get crazy. Like it can get dark fast. If you look at some of the old DC cartoons that used to air on what was it? It wasn't WB, was it? Back in like the early 2010s, or prior to that, or like
No, I think you're right. It was under WB.
Or yeah, I mean, and that's just going back that far. But you go in the comics, you know, it gets dark. It gets dark very fast. So I'm hoping that this is the direction. It's a series too. So I mean, with all these, you know, series like The Boys and Invincible coming out, like I'm hoping that this is the series where they just decide to just say, hey, and this is DC Studios, right? So I mean, you know, they've gotta go big. They've gotta go big.
Yeah, I hope so. Like with this, I'm kind of with you. Like I'm pretty excited about it actually, because I do like the you know, the lanterns as characters, and we haven't gotten any good, like really good film or anything, or like really good show about the lanterns in a long time. Like the last even movie that I think that Green Lantern had that was like a solo movie was like the one that came out, I think, in like the mid or early 2000s, maybe, that had like I think it was like Ryan Reynolds in it, and that movie was very bad. So
I was trying to figure out, I remember the name. I was like, I could see the face, Ryan Reynolds. It was Ryan Reynolds.
yeah,
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, like that movie was really bad. So
Yeah.
like seeing this and it's being directed by the guy that did The Lost and Watchmen, like that gives me you know, hoping some excitement for like the direction that they're going with this, because as you know, like I really like the Watchmen films and what they did with that. So that darker tone, like you said, especially giving the way that they are in the comics, and I know, like, because I've read some of the comics that it can get dark as well. So I'm pretty excited just to see what they do with this.
Yeah, as a side note, I mean, Ryan Reynolds, for him to go to from Green Lantern to Deadpool, like how many times does that happen? You know, have you ever thought about that? Like I know he's a billionaire and everything, but Did he was he able to do that because he's a billionaire? Like,
I never thought about it that way, but I don't know. Like, they're like completely different characters, but then at the same time, like I see what you're saying, because he did a way better job at doing acting as Deadpool than he did acting as Green Lantern for sure. But then at the same time, I also feel like they're very different characters, so they would be acted very different ways. And then like the Green Lantern movie, from my memory, like it didn't really have a good sense of direction anyway. So like the director that could have played a part of it as well. It might not have just been like an issue of just like the actor not being as good, just the direction not bringing out or showing like their potential as well. It could have been like a bunch of things, but like Ryan Reynolds though, now that you say that, that's kind of wild, because like I remember him from Green Lantern, but like I don't remember like his face like that prior to seeing like the Green Lantern movie. And then like post Green Lantern is just like all of a sudden like this guy is everywhere. So it's kind of like you said, like how do you do how do you do that? So
yeah, I mean, like
I don't
two
know.
superheroes. Like, what other? That's like Robert Downey Jr. going from Iron Man to what's a superhero out there that Iron Man to, I don't know why I can't think of any superheroes out there, but Iron Man to another superhero. Like it's like,
I'm
I
trying to
mean,
think of one that's like the complete opposite of Iron Man, because like Green Lantern and Deadpool are like completely opposite characters
that
as
is
far
true.
as how they act. Um, I don't know, like who would be the opposite of Iron Man? Iron Man is a very business like guy that's like about his business. So another comically silly character that's also a superhero. But
Another um who would be the opposite of Iron Man? I don't know.
I'm trying to think. But yeah, but I completely get what you're saying though. 100% though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll yeah, maybe I'll think about it at a later time. But yeah, that's yeah, next
You know what? I can think of one that's like just because, not because they're opposites, but just because how jarring of a difference it is. It's like Ronald Downey Jr. going from playing like Iron Man to like somebody like a big brooding guy like Hellboy or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's a big difference.
Yeah. No, that is a good example. Yeah. Yeah, and that's interesting, but I feel like Iron Man would be the bigger role. I feel like Green Lantern, if handled properly, could be just as big as Spider-Man. Not Superman. Superman is essentially the face of America, but
Right?
but definitely Spider-Man, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Green Lantern, if handled properly, again within a setting like Watchmen, or which is still one of my all-time favorite movies, or Sin City, for sure. It could be handled. It could definitely outshine Spider-Man. But yeah, yes. Next up, though, we have The Watcher season 4 rumors have come out.
Oh, The Witcher.
What did I say? The Watcher?
Yeah, you said The Watcher, but I know what you meant though. As soon as you said season 4, like I'm like, oh, you must mean The Witcher.
Yeah, no, that was spot on. Because I was thinking about the Watchers, but I was like The Witcher. No, yeah, the season, because the Watchers is still at season 1 for some of you guys out there that are familiar with the Watchers, but yeah, season 4. It's interesting. I don't, and I'm excited for this. I am, but I don't know what to look forward to. Does that make sense? Like
I completely get what you mean. Like you just don't know what is coming, or just where they're gonna go with it with season 4 next.
I have no idea where they're gonna go with it, and I'm still like, yeah, I will watch it. I watched all things Witcher, that I possibly could. I've read all things Witcher for the most part, or most things Witcher. But in terms of season 4, I just don't. Unless they're going to combine, maybe have some of the cast from another Witcher series come over to the main Witcher series, then yeah, that might be interesting.
Like The Witcher is one of the few series where they do like a successful transfer and like translation from like the game to like an actual series.
yes,
Because the series and even like the way that the character looks actually has like the feel and the looks of the character within the game. It just kind of carries that vibe pretty well.
yeah, I don't exactly know the director, but it's definitely a really good series. And by one of good, a really good series, I mean I cannot say no if it pops up, for me to watch. Like I'm going to listen to it on my way to work if I have to, and, and then rewatch it on my way home. Like it's going to be very difficult to put it down. So yeah, for sure. Season 4, I don't know if there's been too much information put out in regards to it, but rest assured that we will try to update you guys as soon as that information releases. Unless you're familiar, are you familiar with any rumors that may have circulated in particular?
Yeah, not yet. I have no idea of what they're cooking up or stirring up for The Witcher season 4. Like nothing as of yet has been leaked out. So
Okay. Well, yeah, as yeah, Witcher news, good stuff. But next up we have Man of Tomorrow. You guys, this okay. First off, this is a Superman movie. Man of Tomorrow. I don't think it's gonna be again this. It was prior, and how no 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 how I'm forgetting the actor of Superman, because it's the same actor as The Witcher, but it's no longer going to be that actor. The new Superman movie is currently in production and rumored to be directed by Zack Snyder. What? What? Another? I feel like didn't he do like a um
he did a recut of the Justice League film.
yeah, that's what it was. And it actually it turned out, I think it was actually pretty good. Aside from like where Superman got violent in the end and he kind of lost his temper and he killed that person.
I don't know why the way that you said that. I don't know why I found that so funny, but that is...
I'm sorry.
Like, oh, okay. The movie is so good. But there's that one part where Superman he did go off a little bit, like a little bit off the deep end.
All right. Well, look. Hold on. Yeah, he snapped. He straight up snapped. He lost it. And Superman never does that. Even though it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense from his character standpoint. At least in his continuity. So yeah, it was cool to see, and I definitely would like to see it again, although I would rather not, because and it really just has me at awe as to like what this could potentially be, the Man of Tomorrow or Man of Tomorrow for the Superman movie. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect. And I think that is both good and bad. It could be a phenomenal thing. Although with Zack Snyder, he's very known to have a lot of explosive things, action sequences and his cuts. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm not sure if this is the same rumored Superman film that's supposed to be coming in 2025, or this is like a completely separate project from that film. Because I know they've been saying that they've been working for a minute on a new Superman film, and every time I hear that one being brought up, it's just called Superman, and that's just the title of it, just Superman. So either this is that rumored film and this is the actual title of the film, or this is a completely separate project. But like the feeling that I get from the title alone, with it just being called Man of Tomorrow, like it gives me the feeling of it being a new take on Superman, or something of the sort, because I mean it says tomorrow. So it reminds me of like the phrase, don't worry about like the man I am today. I'm gonna be like a new man tomorrow, like a clean slate kind of feel. So I'm assuming whatever this is probably a separate project from the Superman 2025 film. So it's probably like a separate or different story or alternate take on the character. Sort of like what he did with the Justice League, where it was a different, take on the Justice League film for the Zack Snyder cut. So I don't know what to expect, because the title, like I said, is Man of Tomorrow. So it makes me feel like it's something completely new or a new take on the character. And I don't know where really, they would take that.
No, that's yeah, you put out a lot of good points there. I definitely would have to agree. It does sound like something this may pertain to a new project. Honestly, I'm not sure how to tell. I know that this was announced as or the rumors I basically announced it as the movie. Um and so that's where my speculation lies. But in terms of, yeah, it could be very well maybe a new Superman, new type of Superman, because there are different variants throughout different universes, even though a lot of them tend to be the same type of Superman as our multiverse, at least from what I recall. Um or Earth, what is it, Earth One? Forgetting
Yeah,
exactly what
you're right.
the one that is supposed to correlate directly to the universe that all of us presently reside in. Um, um, but yeah, I'm interested. I don't know. Um, next up, we have Paul Bettany. Bettany's Vision has received an MCU return update. This could imply season 2, and this it says currently 2026, but I'm thinking that this could very well be pushed or pulled into 2025 at the earliest. So yeah, I mean, I've yet to actually sit down and watch the full um series on Disney Plus, but from what it seems like, it looks like, or it looks like WandaVision. This is either a new series that is primarily focused on Vision, or this is season 2. So I think it's a little uncertain now. At least I'm a little uncertain as to what this could mean exactly, but I think either is good. I don't, yeah, and maybe me not fully being caught up on season 1 yet um would probably give me more context as to whether or not this could be a season 2 adaptation, or just another series entirely based off of WandaVision, solely focused on Vision. um yeah, but either or, it's good stuff.
That sounds pretty exciting. There's also rumors that season 2 for the Sandman series is releasing pretty soon. Now, like the Sandman character, I know it's a comic character, but I'm not familiar too much with his character. But I know it's based on the character from the Sandman comics. And I have a friend that watched season 1 of the Sandman series, and like he completely loves the show. And it's something that I've been wanting to watch myself. So as far as like stuff spoiling on this one, I've completely stayed away from like all Sandman season 1 spoilers completely. So it kind of gets me a little bit excited that season 2 is coming out, because season 1 is something that I've been looking forward to start. I don't mind comic book series shows, and especially some that are different from you know the Marvel and the DC format. They kind of bring like a fresh perspective. Sort of like I know like Spawn, like he's a character that's not under either like Marvel or DC. And I really like, the take that they took with his character. And like there's like a couple others like Invincible. We were talking about that. That's not exactly under Marvel or DC. Like I like those original characters and just like what they bring, because they usually have like a different tone, where like as like Marvel characters and in film they usually have like a more not light, well, yeah, like a more lighthearted kind of comedic tone, just depending on who's making the film or the show. But
Yeah.
usually they're a little bit lighter than like the tone that you'd see like in a DC film and their characters. And then with like the more independent stuff, to me it's like I don't know what I'm getting. So it's always exciting for me to go and dive into these.
It's always like it's always sort of like one-sided in a way from MC, at least from my perspective, as to where like uh the good guys that are like troubled, they're good to the heart, they're good to the soul, and they're really good guys. And then the bad guys, they're bad guys, they're good guys, that they're also good guys that had um went down the wrong path, right? So you
Right.
get like sort of a dichotomy there, where it's two opposing views on good and bad, but through the lens of the good persona. um that's very wordy, but in a sense that's sort of what I get from the MCU.
No,
uh,
I completely get what you mean.
but in terms of like Sandman is essentially based on sins, or the endless, which is, I'm forgetting, it has some real credence to the origin here. This may be related to biblical sins, but I want to say it actually is based on like biblical sins, the endless, right? Which is basically a group of 7 powerful and immortal beings that sort of between, you know, stand in the middle of the realm between good and bad. And of course, you've got Dream, or is it 7 of them to be exact? Or you got Dream, aka Sandman. I don't know if he's exactly the Sandman, but a Dream, I guess the main protagonist here. And you got Death, Desire, Despair, Destiny, Delirium, and Destruction. Right, and I think season 1 does a phenomenal job at showcasing, showcasing. Why can't I say that? Showcasing. That's not how you say that.
Showcasing.
Holy crap!
Nah, you're good. This is like sometimes my words don't come out either.
Yeah, my words aren't wording today. I can't speak. English is hard. Um, but yeah, they did a phenomenal job at actually shedding light as to like who those personas actually are and what they actually are. So yeah, pretty good. It's a very good series. I think it was difficult for me in the first maybe 30 45 minutes of the first few episodes. That's because I forgot what the endless actually was about. But when I actually start to like watch the episodes, it's very difficult. Another series that's very difficult to drop. And the directing's all right. The artistic choices and its CGI or is top notch. Again, this is based off of in a real world setting, so it's not cringy in the slightest. It's actually extremely fluid. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can say about that.
As soon as you brought up that it has basis on like the seven seven biblical sin bases, it immediately got me interested in checking it out, because everything that incorporates that concept as far as like uh like media goes that I've watched, they at least provoke thought. Like they're at least thought provoking in some kind of way. Like it immediately makes me think of like Full Metal Alchemist. They did that same kind of concept incorporated into its series, and then Bleach did it too as well. Like, so I at least know it's gonna have me thinking. So
that it will for sure. Because that, I think that's its main purpose. It's like a mystery series. But it's you got like powers in there, and at times you're not sure whether or not to be scared or happy, and that right there I find to be very difficult to accomplish in a lot of series. It's and the fact that it's not one-sided, like there's always a trick or a loop or something, going on. I feel like it's definitely a series to check out, for sure. Yeah, Sandman, guys, season 2. This is exciting news. Was there an official release date for that?
no, there's not an official release date, but it's supposed to be coming sometime soon, though.
Okay, noted. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll move on to our news and updates segment. Funny enough, there's actually there's a jetpack or jet suit TAC team of medics or rescue teams in Romania that's adopted a life-saving equipment for and this was actually used in a recent rescue for a showtime that would, or trip that would normally take 2 hours. It was accomplished in just 2 minutes. So I find that to be groundbreaking news reports as to where, how things can be adopted worldwide. Jetpacks are a thing. They've been a thing for now a solid 1 to 2 years now. So we are living in the Jetson era now, officially. We've got flying cars that are approved, but they're not approved in terms of mass production. So yeah, what was just a dream in the last 20 years, or make believe in terms of, we've got touch phones. We don't refer to them as touch phones now; they're just phones. But just 20 years ago, we didn't have that. We didn't even think it was possible. Now we have everything in the palm of our hand, and now we have jetpacks. They're not exactly run by propelled jet fuel like we, or I guess they are, but they're not like full on like Iron Man suits, right? Although that is also in production at the moment too. But yeah, how are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about this?
Like, to me, that's just insane. Like, that going from a rescue that would take 2 hours to 2 minutes is insane. That's a big difference in time. Like, I just want to see, like, at this point, like, I'm just gonna look up exactly how these jetpacks work.
I can showcase the video, I believe.
Oh, there's a video on it.
There should be a video on it. Yeah, let me see if I can scroll up to it.
Yeah, because to me, that's just I mean, I've seen it, not the video, but I've seen people talking about this before, where they were saying that people in Romania, they had the jet suits. But I've always just been wondering, like, what does that actually look like?
I'm about to show you right now, or show everyone right now, because I was like, whoa, look at this. I've got to show everyone. All right, here it is. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfecto. Let me
Oh, that's crazy.
back out of that really quick. Sorry about that. All right, we're back. Hold up. Where is the sound?
That is crazy, though.
Jet suit flying paramedic in Romania. He reached a mock patient at the summit of a mountain in 2 minutes, which is a trip that normally takes more than 2 hours by foot. The technology has been in development since 2017. The latest version features 7 miniature jet engines, 2 on each arm, 3 in the back. It can reach speeds greater than 85 miles an hour at more than 12,000 feet. The UK could be the first country to put this jet suit into practice. It is a jet suit flight.
Yeah, then there's that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's out there, guys. It's out there. It's happening. We're here. Welcome to the future.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah, it's always the things you least expect until you're like, whoa, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that's a thing. And then I think after brought up, and this is not something that people typically talk about, it's all imaginary, but no, this is very real. On here on the Sync Zone podcast, we'll talk about things like this where, we're now aware that things are valid, and it's not speculation. It's actually been, as you may have just heard, it's been in production, and it's been worked on since at least dated as early as 2017. So I think at that point in time, there's a lot of inspiration behind like Iron Man, and people were trying to recreate Iron Man, and that is probably how the idea resurfaced. But
I can kind of see that.
Regardless, we've made it, guys, and it's only going to get better and more refined. Now we got to attach spacesuits and fly up to space. That's all we got to do,
right?
And so this is crazy. This is great news. I'm sure they have similar equipment like this in space. But now this is being used by your everyday rescue team. Interesting stuff.
For sure. Oh, have you heard about what was going on with the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul stuff?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so like apparently the fight was supposed to be on July 20th, but for right now it's being postponed and rescheduled to November 15th of this year, because Tyson had an issue where I guess he had an ulcer flare. And when I'm hearing ulcer flare, I'm assuming that it's probably like a stomach ulcer or something like that. So he had an ulcer flare. So due to that, they're postponing the fight to allow him time to recover. And then Jake Paul, in addition to fighting Mike Tyson on the 15th, in February following that, he's supposed to be fighting the YouTuber KSI next year in February in 2025. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like even the Mike Tyson fight itself, to me, still is just like, what are y'all doing? And then there's the fight between KSI and Jake Paul in February, and I'm just like, okay, at this point. It's just, to me, it's kind of getting a little bit ridiculous, but it is what it is.
It's getting out of hand. And I'm not sure
Yeah.
whether to believe this is real or this is fake. Stomach ulcer or hernia, what is it really? Because I think the fact that Jake Paul is trying to say like, hey, there's going to be another fight in February, like 3, the months that he has, what is that, 6 months? I don't think that's enough time to recover from a beatdown. If Tyson is actually going to be able to get back up to his prime by that point. But I don't know. If we're going to consider this to be real, then
I don't even like the idea of the whole Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, to be honest.
Yeah, like it just doesn't feel right. Like it's like, why would you try to come out of retirement to do this, Mike? Why, Mike? Oh, man, come on. But Jake Paul, I'm not. I feel like people give Jake Paul credence like they give Drake credence, and it's all pop culture activities and theatrics. But that's my personal opinion. I don't expect anyone to have that opinion. I don't want to impose those opinions on anyone. Again, take my opinion with a grain of salt and speculation too, because I'm still thinking through that as well. But yeah, I mean, if anything, I think that Jake Paul, excuse me, I can't even say his name, and KSI fight, I don't know. I feel like it. I'm
not even interested in it, man.
I can't even front, man. I don't even. I'm not even hopeful for it. I could care less if it happens ultimately, but I know people love Jake Paul and I know people love KSI, and I wish the best to them. In the sport of boxing, it's unfortunate that they had to turn this into WWE SmackDown Raw. But so be it. People love that too, and people are going to eat it up. I guess these days, women's WWE / Raw is probably the most entertaining stuff. But you see jacked ladies, half naked jacked ladies beating each other up. Probably very entertaining. More than half jacked dudes pretending to beat each other up. It's like, where's the blood? Where is the blood? Show me the Carfax. But yeah, I digress.
Yeah, it is what it is. I was gonna say it's unfortunate, but no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say it is what it is.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Would you like to go into our gaming segment?
Let's do it. Let us do it.
Yeah, so the Summer Game Fest for 2024 has been going on for the past couple days since the 7th, which was, what is that? Like this, I think that was like this Friday. It's been going on since Friday, and it ends tomorrow. And there's been you know, a lot of good drops coming as of lately. There have been updates to games as well too. Like I know I played Street Fighter. I don't know if I played Tekken with you yet. I know I played Street Fighter with you, but I know at the Summer Games Fest for that one, like they announced, for example, like more characters coming to that one, and there've already been more characters coming to that one. So I'm always down again if you want to play some of that again to do some more Street Fighter. And there's been like a bunch of stuff. Like I've seen some good racing games. There's like what's it called? Like Test Drive, Solar Crown, which look really fun. There's like a new Doom. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There was a Black Myth Wukong, which is like a it's like a I don't want to say like hack and slash, but it's like a adventure game, sort of like God of War, or the more recent God of War games. That one looked pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of games. I'd be going on forever if I just talk about all the games that were on at the summer Game Fest. But
there was a new World of Warcraft, right? The War Within. A new. I know there was also a Gundam: The Next Pavilion trailer, which also I don't know if that was exactly a part of that, but I find that to be like a honorable mention in terms of like games that are coming. But in terms of like the trailers, I know there was at least 2 trailers that 1 to 2 trailers that you found to be kind of something that we should
yeah. So there is a trailer for Fable. There's a trailer for World of Warcraft, and then there's like a new Dune Awakening trailer as well for Gundam. The Gundam Next Pavilion is actually a anime expo event that's going to go on sometime in 2025. I think in the winter, either like January or February. But there is a new Gundam game coming out called Gundam Breaker 4.
That's right.
And that one comes out this summer. But for the expo event for Gundam Next Pavilion, that's just going to cover like Gundam in general. So like new stuff going on with the series, because I know like there's new films coming out for Gundam. There's the video game for Gundam Breaker 4. It's just like a big Japan event basically for like all things Gundam.
I guess what do you say we take the time out and not what do you is there a trailer you would prefer to kind of to watch?
Yeah, do you want to check out Fable?
Yeah, let's check out Fable. Let's see. Fable trailer. Now, just as a heads up, if you guys are watching this stream at a later time and you no longer see the Fable trailer in it, that's because it got copyrighted and removed. So we're gonna play it. YouTube loves to copyright me. How about you copyright yourself, YouTube? How about that? Let's stop that real quick. Excuse me.
Oh, right. Gee. So, you want to know all about heroes, do you? Well, you have come to the right place. Because who better to tell you all about them than perhaps the greatest hero?
Wow, this looks amazing already. Like,
Very realistic.
yeah, like let's try 2K. Let's see what that what happens. I don't know if I'll break StreamYard, but let's see what happens.
All right.
Yeah. There he is in all his finery. Cheers.
This has got to be like Unreal Engine 5, or like, you know, it rendered with a new person, like with like an actual person talking, and maybe CGI on top of the rendering. I'm not sure.
I'm curious. Now I'm gonna look up whether they use Unreal Engine 5 or they're just using like their own proprietary engine.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you get your mega fans,
You are like literally my favorite person.
your haters,
It's like a fan club, but we hate you.
your chancers, and the occasional giant toad for some reason. But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make.
I'm a hero. I should do what I want.
We thought you could save her.
You know, it's your life and death stuff. That's what defines you, and that really stays with you. I knew this one hero.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah, they are using Unreal Engine 5, and like you, I'm assuming they use real models for people to model over.
Yeah, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
I took her in when she had nowhere else to go. Welcome to the most exclusive club in all of Albion. Thought I'd get her out there, make the most of her gift. But you know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove. I tell you, this kid, she had it all. The skill, the talent, the power. She was something else, all right. She was terrifying. So, yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
What? Now, I know a lot of people, this was like, it was pretty controversial, at least within the comment section, that people, let's see how many views it's got. Well, it's going to get a little low views at the moment, but apparently a lot of people were upset that it's like a female protagonist, which personally, I don't care. I'll play with whoever. I just want to play the game. I vaguely remember us having the option between like choosing as a male protagonist or a female protagonist in the early Fable games, and I don't know, maybe I don't know if I'm wrong about that.
No, you're right. I on Fable, I think it is Fable 2. It's either Fable 1 or Fable 2, but I had one of them on Xbox 360, and you were able to choose whether you had a male or a female protagonist.
No,
And then like the looks of the character kind of drastically changed just depending on like your actions. I remember like if you were doing like a bunch of good deeds, like you look very angelic, but then like if you start doing like a whole bunch of bad stuff, you start looking really like grayish, darkish, and like evil and stuff with like dark circles around the eyes. It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, apparently they were upset that there's like no mentioned character customization feature, which again, I could care less about, but that would be nice as well. I could see it working out more for them if they had a character. In the character that I've seen, at least the woman, it didn't look like she was rendered as realistic as this guy here. It looked like she may have been an option that the person chose to play as, and maybe the game is using the pronouns of that character because of something inputted within the system. That could be true as well. I don't know. I feel like they could still work it in there. I don't think it's something to really stress about at this point in time. But it's all around. It's great news. We're getting another Fable series. So yeah.
Humphrey. She's back.
Very interesting.
Is going to stand in my way.
Huh.
Nice.
Wow. Well, that was Fable, guys. I hope you enjoyed that was my first reaction to the series. Is that the first time you've seen that, Breezy?
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen the actual trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited because I know I've got both consoles, and it's definitely going on the Zone Voyager channel. So yeah, let us know if you want to see gameplay like that. If not, it'll be streams on Twitch. Let us know, guys. And yeah, for sure, we got to get some Tekken gameplay in there for sure. Breezy, just let me know when you're ready for these hands.
For sure. I don't know, like for Fable, if there's going to be a multiplayer aspect of this one, but I'll probably pick this one up as well. Like I know one of the good things about Windows is if you got the Xbox app, you can still get the Xbox games and play them on your PC through the app. So I'll probably be picking this one up.
That's right. I forgot about that. I've got an Xbox too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just said that. But yeah, I keep forgetting about that feature. Okay. I guess what do we have next? We'll do World of
Warcraft: The War Within.
Yeah, we'll do World of War. Wow. We'll do WoW.
Wow.
It's WoW for sure. That's the actual name.
Wow.
Or actual acronym. Let me see. Are we still up? Yeah, we are. All right, perfecto. First time reaction, guys. Make sure to like the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
In darkness, she slumbers and dreams. And for countless generations, mortal heroes have risen to defend her. They faced monsters, tyrants, and beasts of primordial horror. Though they fought amongst themselves, their enmity following them to the most distant shores. We will never be slaves! And even across time and space. Their courage.
Okay, so from what I can see now, there are old characters, old bosses definitely returning. I played WoW a little bit, but not enough to understand the entire storyline. So that's on me, guys. If this is something that you guys feel like that might be entertaining going forward, or that's something that you would like to see me play WoW on the Zone Voyager channel, let me know. I'm already playing Elden Ring, so understand I've got a lot on my plate. Aside from that, I guess I'll continue.
Never faltered.
Game looks beautiful, by the way. Like this shot right here, it's giving me Final Fantasy vibes right now. Like in terms of the quality here, it's just
even upon the very threshold.
Wait, what? I don't think that can't be her, right? The boss can't be, or maybe she's killing the boss.
Of death.
Holy crap!
While new hope blooms on the horizon, the final battle draws near. Now, in the darkness, at the very heart of the world, the drums of war thunder once again. And Azeroth at last awakens.
Are these character choices? What?
And the one girl, she's been through some stuff. She came up missing an arm.
So
Yeah, no, that was dope. That was dope right there.
Yeah.
long denied me shall be mine.
Is the game gonna look that great though? Because the trailer looked absolutely phenomenal. Is the game gonna look that good? That's all I want to know.
Right?
If it's an open world RPG with that level of graphic, come on. Like, I don't even know if Elden Ring scales that high. And Elden Ring, granted, it has its reasons as to why. And Elden Ring actually looks phenomenal as well. But this looks extremely fluid. Like, it's also rendered in Unreal Engine 5. I don't know if I could say the same for Elden Ring, but still Elden Ring looks phenomenal. But and this is not to compare the two. This is just to kind of have you guys understand the statement in which I'm trying to convey. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I thought that the trailer looked pretty interesting. Like, if it does look visually in game, like with the actual models being as good as what was shown here, that'd be crazy.
Hands down. And I think we have one more final gaming trailer.
Dune Awakening.
Dune Awakening. That's right. All right, let's go.
The only peace I find is a future that never happened.
This looks already movie quality, so yeah, I'm assuming this is also rendered in Unreal
Engine 5. Yeah,
I mean, ongoing topic, but this is all right.
One where I, Paul Atreides, was never born.
He's older. I wonder if he's actually in the game. Okay.
I created the future until it created me. But I see a narrow way, the path that might have been. What if my mother had obeyed her orders and given birth to a girl? Everything would change.
First off, I didn't know that was an option.
right?
Yeah. Obeyed orders and given birth to a girl. I don't know. Maybe it was, and I totally missed something. I didn't know that she had that option. I thought it was just something that
happened. Yeah.
Or yeah. Interesting.
Dr. Yue exposed before his betrayal. A world where my father lives. House Atreides surviving the Battle of Arrakeen. Sardaukar deployed to protect the spice melange. A war of assassins spreading across the planet. Fremen exterminated. No Muad'Dib. No Lisan al-Gaib. No Kwisatz Haderach. All of my visions lead to horror. Except for this one. This one leads to you.
Yo, if they're saying they're going to make that into an MMORPG, it's between this right here and WoW. Like what? And again, there has been no speculation as to whether or not this will be an MMO. But I could foresee it being a phenomenal thing that they could do to compete with WoW. And then also something that they could do to sort of showcase that they could do better or be better than Final Fantasy XIV Online. So I don't know. Final Fantasy XIV Online got a lot of hype in terms of like the MMO world, but I don't know. It could from what I've seen, like I already want to be in that world. It looked like it was just as good. There was also a Star Wars online game that I think it was Star Wars: The Old Republic online. Vaguely remembering that. I know some of you audience, some of you guys in the audience, some of you travelers out there will know that. So if I'm incorrect in that assumption, make sure to correct me down below. But yeah, I mean, that is interesting stuff. Because I definitely want to be collecting spice, going to other universes, fighting the bad guys, using the powers that I have as a spice dweller, or accolade to assistant to Paul Atreides, right? That I feel like that would be just a phenomenal role. I don't exactly know like if they would incorporate how that would work if they incorporated other genders aside from males, because that would also mean they would have to showcase a different power dynamic in terms of like its female role, which the world loosely defines how that looks in terms of like, powers and such. It's very focused on Paul Atreides and the male dominance over those powers. So
yeah, I get what you mean.
But yeah, I figured, I was gonna do one final bonus video, but I find that it might be best to maybe bring that over to next week's segment. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, that's completely fine with me. We had a really good over 2 hour run.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for stopping by here at the Sing Zone podcast. Hopefully you guys found this to be entertaining, and you guys are going to like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, this has been Zone FanFic here with co-host or host Breezy, and we'll catch you next time, travelers.
Alrighty. Peace.